Hi, I'm Andy.
And I'm Jane.
And we're here in Bagara on the coast in Queensland, close to Bundaberg, which many people in the UK may have heard of due to the ginger beer and lemon, lime and bitters, which you can buy in the supermarket, and maybe the rum as well.
Although tonight we're sat here drinking Australian wine after having had a traditional barbecue tea.
Yeah. We're sitting in our rental house, which is quite a nice property, but we're looking to buy somewhere as soon as we possibly can. We've seen a few nice houses around the place, but we're looking for a nice sort of Australian type house, open plan, a bit like this one, but maybe a little bit bigger. And so we could really do with Phil's help, because there's an awful lot on the market. We, I guess, have focused pretty much on living by the seaside, but you've got lots of options here. You can live by the seaside at Bagara, you can live in the city in Bundaberg, you can live by the river, out in the countryside. We just haven't got time to explore all those options, but we're willing to give it a go. So we could do with some help in terms of finding our ideal property.
We're quite adventurous really, aren't we? We don't mind looking at lots of different things. I mean, initially when we came out here we've done a house sit, which was really exciting because we came out not knowing where we were going to be or who we were going to be sitting for, but that worked out really well, so we're willing to give anything a go. We've been married for 13 years and together for
a long time.
a long time. We met initially when we were at sixth form together, and we were in a group of friends together, and we both went our separate ways after our A-levels, and then sort of got back together again and eventually got married, so that worked out really well.
It did. We've got 3 children between us. Our daughter Ray, who's 10, is behind the camera and she's with us. Our 2 older ones are still in the UK because they're all grown up and doing their own thing. So it's just the 3 of us that we're looking for a house for.
I'm a teacher, and I'm just sort of getting myself established in the area around here. Andy works for the university at Bundaberg, so we've got our permanent residency, which we're really, really pleased about. So we'd be looking to sort of become citizens of Australia when we can, which I think is about 4 or 5 years down the line. So we're really up for the Australian way of life.
Absolutely. We've visited here quite a few times to Queensland before we came out here to live. Some of Jane's family already live out here. In fact, her gran came out in the 60s as a £10 pom. So we've got a fair few family just down the coast, and after our last visit we really decided that we'd give it a good go at trying to come here. You might just be able to hear in the background one of our geckos that are out on the patio, so apologies for that. We also have quite a large number of frogs and toads in our garden, which is interesting. But yeah, so we decided that we'd like to have a good go at coming out here, and then me getting a job at the university. As Jane was saying, I'm Dean of the School of Health and Human Services, which covers areas like psychology and social work. So it's pretty interesting, and it's been a very full-on job since I've got here. I used to commute from Staffordshire down to Coventry University down the M6 toll. So my current commute into Bundaberg is both quite a lot smaller and certainly a great deal picturesque. When you come over the hump as you come home, you see the sea in the background. It really makes you feel that it's time to stop thinking about work and start thinking about home and getting down the beach. Parts of my work though are based at Rockhampton, which is about a further 300 kilometres north, so I'm having to travel up there quite a bit, which makes up for it. I should just say at the moment actually that by the time you come to film, I won't be sporting this lovely moustache, but it is Movember, so I'm doing my bit to try and raise a bit of money for some charities for men's health. So that's the reason behind the week-long growth that I currently have.
And I've sponsored him $50, but I've said only if it grows really bushy and long and I can put little bells and ribbons in it at the bottom. We both like entertaining, don't we? So we would be looking for some entertainment areas in a house. Andy really loves cooking. He fancies himself as a bit of a master chef.
Oh, did I know that?
And I really like gardening. Although I want something that's quite manageable because with us both working, be nice to have my own little veggie patch and maybe a pool.
Yeah, a pool would be good.
Yeah.
I think Ray would particularly like a pool. I guess we're looking really top end of our budget at about 600,000. Ideally, we'd like to come in a bit lower than that, you know, around about the £500,000 mark, but we could stretch to 600 for the ideal property. And having looked around, we think there's probably some properties in the area that would fit the bill and come in on that budget. So yeah, I guess the reasons that we could do with Phil's help, we explained earlier, in terms of just not being able to look at all the opportunities. And also, as Jane was saying, we're pretty much game for it. So we think that you know, we'd be willing to give things a go, we'd be willing to look at things, and we're willing to compromise.
So, cheers!
Cheers!
Hi, I'm Ray and I'm sitting here with my mum in our rental house in Bagara on the coast of Queensland. We really need your help because we do like lots of different styles of houses, but we can't choose the best one for us. And there are a few specific things that we would like a big kitchen because my dad likes cooking, a large entertainment area so we can sit out and have barbecues, and our special request is to have a pool and a little bit of a garden so that then we can swim and mum can have a vegetable patch if she really wants to.
You'd like to have a den, wouldn't you?
Yes, I'd quite like to have a little space where me and my friends could play, quite close to my room, so if we were having a sleepover we could just play in there in our pyjamas and then go straight to bed when it was time for us to go to bed. So we could have the TV and the PS2 in there, and I'd quite like to sort of stay in this sort of area because it's quite a nice little area and it's on the coast. It's about a 5-minute drive to the beach.
Well, I just think if we had like a little farm area, you could have a horse.
Yeah, that would be good because I quite like horses, and I'm going to try and get into pony club so then I can take some riding lessons.
And you've already had surf lessons, haven't you? So
I've joined Nippers, and today I had to do a 288-metre swim in the ocean. That was quite hard, but I made it, so.
So this is why we need Phil, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can't decide whether you want somewhere where you can have a horse.
With a big area so we can have a barn and a horse, or one that's close to the beach so I can surf and play about in the water quite easily. We like the Bundaberg and Bagara area because it's just not a big city, it's a smallish city and it's just a nice area and all.
And you're making lots of friends
Yeah.
there, aren't you? So.